Hi everyone, this is Jen from BritMums, and we are here on another great Hangout. Today it's the hashtag MyDens Hangout, where we're talking about children building dens, the creative things you can do in building a den, and how we as parents can help contribute to that creativity and help them have fun. It's just in time for Philips Lighting's hashtag MyDens giveaway, in which they're asking parents to share images of their children's dens to win a prize. Very easy. You upload a photo, a video, a drawing of your children's den on Twitter with hashtag MyDen, or upload it on Philips See What Light Can Do Facebook page for your chance to win a Philips and Disney light. These are really cute character lights. So on to the Hangout. We are joined today by top mom bloggers who will be sharing their insight and burning questions alongside lighting designer Tim Meaker, who will be providing den building tips as well as showing how you can make your children's bedroom and other spaces more inspiring using light and simple techniques. The G Plus Hangout is sponsored by Philips Lighting and highlights their Disney imaginative lighting range that children can use in their dens or their rooms. You can even see one behind one of our Hangout mums, Helen, in the back there on her shelf. The Disney-themed lights are designed to inspire your little ones' creativity, projecting a world of light around them, lighting up their dens and play spaces. So, a little bit about our special guest, Timothy. He is a lighting designer. Hi, Tim. He's a lighting designer whose true passion is how light can help stimulate the imagination of children. He's based in the Netherlands and is joining us from there, and has been working as a lighting designer at Studio Rublik since 2008. He recently was the lighting designer for a project in which Philip gave rooms lighting makeovers, and he said the concept was to fix rooms fix homes that had a room with a real lighting problem. Within one day, our team had transformed them using Philips lighting. He's since traveled to Singapore, India, Berlin, France, and Amsterdam to perform these light-overs, which sound fascinating. And now he's here to help us with our British lighting and den building questions. So also with us, the mums, we have Claire Walsh from Being a Mummy, Pippa from Red Rose Mummy, Helen from Kitty Charts, Becky from Baby Budgeting, and Eileen from ET Speaks From Home. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So we're going to start off with Helen telling us about the den that her children bought and seeing a few pictures of it. So Helen, tell us about that.
Basically, my kids absolutely love den building. They're both pretty imaginative children, and we've always been a bit traditional about our dens. So they're basically few duvets, few chairs, a few pillows. We've had numerous issues with keeping the duvets in the same place and in the right place, so we always end up having to have a steady supply of clothes pegs so that they don't land on children's heads, basically. So we tend to, or I tend to try and step back and let them go with the flow, as it were. You know, we have the basics there, and then they'll just do it, which is actually quite difficult because I'm a bit of a control freak. But I do my best to let them, you know, go, and then we love playing it after we've built it. You know, we've always loved doing that kind of thing, and anything from reading books to you know, just generally having a bit of fun and turning it into a castle or turning it into an outdoor camp, whatever their imagination wants to do. And usually I'm a relatively willing participant, as long as it doesn't last too long, anyway.
And we can see there, Helen, that it's your kid's den. It's a real classic. It's the chairs, it's some soft things, but it creates a cozy little space. Yeah, and we actually really do love, you know, taking the torches in there as well. It's a fabulous thing to do, and going all spooky. Fab. So Tim,
Yeah.
what do you think about that den and the basic den building techniques?
Well, it looks like fun. what you can always try to do is add more potential. So this could be in adding different kind of blocks into the room. They're movable, so you can play around with them. And you have the standard items like the chairs and whatever. But what you could also do is maybe add some hooks and some line over which you could do some blankets, but it's very flexible. What you could also do is maybe add some cardboard boxes because they're light, they're child friendly, they're all flexible. I think adding building blocks could be really interesting in creating something extra and something different as well.
That's a good idea, actually. And we do play with cardboard boxes out of dens, but I have to say, never thought of taking them in, which is a bit silly, really, I suppose.
Yeah, it's even if I'm just thinking out loud now, you could use maybe use big umbrellas because you have like a fairly large surface. Mosquito nets, these could be used as well. So I think there are quite some options left to try and experiment with. And what's also really nice if you have this little den, a really good way and a really nice way to accentuate it, to make it different, is to add lighting. And a very nice way is to add colored lighting in the den itself. And what you actually do is you create extra ambience, and it's actually with the colored light you change reality. So you can put it on a little bit of red for more coziness, or blue, depending on what the child wants. So color lighting is a really nice way to stimulate imagination and creativity, and especially in the den because it's a closed surrounding. So this is something I think will work very nice.
Okay, thank you.
So we're having a little bit of a sound issue. It looks like it's cleared up, Timothy, but just to recap, I love those ideas. Cardboard boxes is kid-friendly. Building blocks, mosquito nets, you get a nice texture, and adding the lighting for ambiance and changing the mood. Pippa, tell us about your experience and your question.
The question about bedroom lighting. My little girl has a very small bedroom, and we're quite limited with the lighting that we have in there. There's an overhead light, but obviously she's only a little girl, so I want ideas to make it quite sort of warm and cozy and welcoming for her.
Excuse me. I think size doesn't matter for coziness because it's not the square meters that you need for coziness. I think maybe because it's small you can use the bands. I totally agree. Softness is a very important aspect. So using pillows and little things can really contribute to make it more appealing. But I also think, for instance, if you lower a light, you make the ceiling disappear, so you make actually an artificial ceiling. The room becomes also more cozy because for a child the ceiling is very high. A lower lamp you minimize this. And I think using lighting like Christmas tree lightings, like little twinkle lights, and you surround it around the corners, this can be really charming as well. So actually, you little sources can really add value to this area. And for instance, you have this Mickey Mouse little, but it's light, and actually this it creates safety. You can always take it along, but it's also dynamic. A toy is a toy, but when it gives light, it really comes to life. And adding a few of these small small room, small armature, so it makes sense. It can really add to the atmosphere in the room. And in combination with, if you use a light source which is recognizable, it's familiar, it's the Mickey Mouse, it can also start, it helps starting the imagination because, well, you see the Mickey Mouse and this is the thing the children can start imagining about, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I think little light sources in a small space are a good way to do it.
Tim, you
Thanks, Tim.
Tim, you mentioned the Mickey Mouse light, and another thing that occurs to me as a parent is you don't have to worry about that light falling over or the kids knocking it in a den when it's inside something that's a toy they can handle.
Yeah, you're totally right, Jennifer. And there are safe as well. For instance, this item, if you turn it too much light now, but if you turn it, it goes on and off. So it's really playful. It's soft. I can drop it. It's no cable. So safety, which is always a factor, is no problem at all. And if it's the fact that it's soft and it's cozy, you can keep it in your hand. It almost becomes a friend of you. So it's, I think these small toys that give life, they're perfect. They're great.
Fab. So Becky, you had a question following on some of the different materials we can use.
Yeah, absolutely. We every time we make a den, every single duvet in the house, including our giant one, gets dragged into one room, and then the children don't want to take it down. So when it comes time to go into bed, they get quite upset that they have to take apart this work of art that they've created. And I love the idea that Timothy came up with about a mosquito net. That's brilliant. But I just wondered if you've got any other material ideas. But before he answers, I just want to show you this picture. Can you see that? That's a den my children made in the forest. And the chap...
Hold it up a little, Becky. Hold it up a little higher so we can see. Yeah.
There you go. It's a den they made in the forest, and the chap helping them said it got to be tight. So he poured water over it to see if they got wet inside. I just think that's fabulous.
That's a wonderful.
Yeah, great.
They love that building. So yeah, ideas for materials would be brilliant, please.
Yeah, well, actually, the example you were showing, I think it's great. It's in nature, and we really, but not for how easily this is to obtain. Use fake plants. Use yeah, the fake stuff, because this stays good when you take it in the house. But you can use the brown forest. You can go for a hike and take some branches and use these with some fake plants in combination with some green sheets to make it a little bit army-like. So I think it's maybe a very nice thing to get the jungle feeling in a house. But what's also possible, and also very friendly, you can use air mattresses. So just one-person air mattresses. And you can, if you have a few of them, just stack them, and it's friendly. It's solid, but it's not too solid. So maybe this is something which can be combined. You know, a green mattress with a little bit of fake green plants and a few wooden elements. Some there, nice. Yeah.
Eileen, you have particular concerns having to do with lighting in your daughter's room.
Yes, I do. Because my daughter is a bit mild blindness and mild colorblind. So in her room, it's like a box room, and we have a lot of shelf, and we have this ceiling lights in the middle. And she's not playing in her bedroom right now because the lighting is so poor, even when we on the light. Because even in the morning, she have to on the light so that to help her to see. And she struggle with like lighting, so she need an environment. We always pull out the curtain, pull out the blind, so that to give a lot of lighting for her. But her bedroom is so small, and the lighting in the middle is just not giving enough light. So I want to get something that for her to, so that she some lighting for her, so that she can play in her room. But at the same time, I don't want it to be too shy onto her face or her eyes. So Tim, do you have any recommend on the lighting products for her?
Yeah, I think the main problem is, or what we want to try and solve, is we want to create a clear environment. It must become more visible for her. And I think one of the main problems is you're using one light source and all the lights coming from here, and can create a glare. And I think as soon as you use more light source, low, but you divide it in separate areas, and you can your room becomes more interesting as well. Actually, if you look at the room, you have certain areas which are interesting. You have the sleeping area, maybe the study area, and the play area. And by clarifying these areas, your room becomes more clear as well. So I would suggest use more light sources. They need less light, but you divide it, so the room itself becomes more clear. And also here you can use colored light. By placing colored light at certain areas, these areas become more clear. And you told me she's a little bit colorblind. I'm not sure which color she sees really good, but maybe you can play with one of these Ambilight living color armatures and she really and use these colors to highlight certain areas in a room. So I think using more light sources is the way to go. It makes it more clear.
Tim, you broke up there for a minute. What did you say about colors?
Well, I can imagine if your daughter is a little bit colorblind, maybe certain colors she can see better than other colors. So try to find out which color she sees better, and you can use these colors to accentuate certain areas in a room. For instance, if you have a white wall, you can make it much more interesting you can see. So this way the room becomes more interesting and also more clear, because there you have the wall, there you have the sleeping area, and there you have the study area. And if you highlight these places, the room becomes more interesting automatically and also more clear. And you don't have to put all that light in one center point, because this becomes too much light for her eyes. So divide the light. It's a better option.
Thank you.
Claire, tell us about your concern.
Okay, well, we're at the stage in our house now where I've created some permanent dens for the kids in their bedrooms, and I think that's really important for them to have a little space where they can hide away that's just their own, and they can create as much mess as they want. But the problem I've got now is that they tend to sort of destroy the surroundings a little bit. The temptation's there to draw on the walls, pull the wallpaper off. So really some ideas on how to kind of tackle that and create a den that actually is quite long-lasting for children would be great.
Yeah, I think there are two things here. You got to try to shift the interest, so the wall where they're peeling on must become less interesting. And you can also try to add something which also shifts this interest. And light is very interesting, because if you have a room and you light two places, these two places become more recognizable, and the rest becomes less visible. So by placing less light on the wall you don't want to play, the rest become more interesting. So accentuate the places they are allowed to play, and place a little bit less lighting where you prefer they don't want to play. So again, accent lighting here is very nice. But what you could also do is, for instance, you could place wooden panels and with charcoal paint, and they can draw on the wall anyway, only on the elements. So they're allowed, but not everywhere. Maybe this is also a fun thing for the kids to do.
That's great. That's a really great idea. Thank you for that one.
Helen, how about you and your question?
Hi, hi there, Tim. My question actually goes back to a couple of things you mentioned. You talked about coloured lights with Eileen and a little bit with Pippa as well. And I'd really like to understand about the colours and how they affect children's moods. You know, what kind of colours for soothing, what kind of colours you know, for playfulness, etc. Particularly around bedtime, because I find it difficult to get my son to relax sometimes because he's a bit too bouncy. So anything that can help bringing them down to a sleep mode would be really helpful.
Yeah, I understand your question. There are actually two kinds of colored light. You have your basic lighting. This also has two colors light. It can be really cool white light, but it can be also a warm white light. And I think for children, and especially at bedtime, you want the warm white light. But actually, in a child's bedroom, you always want the warm white light. That's one color. You also have the colors, the orange, the blue, the red. I think you're referring to this. And if you look at the sundown, the sun becomes really warm and reddish when it's almost down under. And we as humans and animals have this association with this color to calm down. And I think if you choose warm colors, a warm orange, a warm red, this will help you, because The opposite is actually blue. If you take the blue color, this for more energy. So this is what you want maybe to do in the morning or another time, but not when you want to go to sleep. So the warm colors are preferred. Still, color are very personal, and maybe interesting to see how your child reacts on certain colors. It's somewhat subjective, but I think for a good nap time, to ooze your child, warm orange, deep red color will be the best color to go for.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we've heard several great questions. I think, Claire, you had a follow-up question as well.
Just really quickly, my little boy's den is underneath his bed, and that's always been a bit of a worry in terms of lighting, because obviously there's a sort of fire risk. What actually is the best sort of light to rig up under the bed in that sort of den?
Well, the best lighting not to do is, and it's a very fair question you're asking, is incandescent lighting.
Sorry, Tim, can you repeat that?
Yeah, the lighting which you shouldn't place there is incandescent lighting. It's the traditional light source with the wire in it, because this gets really hot. And the best option for that location is LED. And why? LED lighting can come in many colors. It doesn't get very warm, and it's low voltage. And very often you have a lot of lighting armatures with LED and no cable, so that makes it even easier as well. So for a location as that, where you can't really see where it is, what's happening, and maybe some other stuff is laying next to it, LED is the best option to go for. It's really, really safe.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, just quickly, it's a little follow-up there. My daughter thinks it's fun to read under the covers with a torch and things like that, and presumably that kind of lighting would actually be quite a fun way of allowing her, her sneaky 5 minutes before she's going to sleep.
It's same as this torch. Again, it's in the shape of a recognizable figure, so it helps for the imagination.
Can you hold that up a bit more so we can see it? Can you hold it up a bit higher so we can see it?
Yeah, sorry, like this, yeah. And this is a torch, and for instance, in places where it's dark under the bed, this is perfect. The kid can play with it. It's airless, and it will last for a really long time because it's lower in energy. So things like this, and again we're back to the small toys. They're all LED. Place these under your bed or place not sure what situation is, and you're guaranteed that you have a safe armature. So these little toys they're so often very good. Yeah.
Fab. So that's all we have time for. Tim, do you have any parting thoughts for us about lighting in children's rooms or dens or den building in general that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think one important thing is if you place a den somewhere, work with the light, or place some lighting in the den or place some lighting behind the den, because this will add extra atmosphere, and also it will add extra personality and identity to the den itself. For instance, if we go back to the green den with some, if you place green lighting in it, it becomes something totally different. So I think working with colored lighting in your den, it changes reality, and it really can help the imagination of a child. So that's what I find for today.
Oh, that sounds so fun. It makes me want to run upstairs and start building a den even before my daughter gets home.
Yeah, same here.
So great. Simple tips for den building and lighting. Den equipment using household or garden materials. Using varied light sources, fairy lights, lamps, these cute Philips and Disney lights. Got some great tips that have come out of here. That's it for us today. I want to say thank you to our blogger guests, whom you can find and follow on Google+. And thank you to our special guest, Tim. Don't forget to enter the hashtag MyDens giveaway by uploading your photo, video, or drawing of your child's den to facebook.com, see what light can do, or via Twitter with the hashtag for a chance to win one of these cute Bolt and Disney lights. And you can catch this and other great videos on Britnum's TV on YouTube. Be sure and subscribe. And we'll see everybody next time. Bye.
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 Bye.